This is the time of year when there are millions and millions of people graduating college and they're wondering, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? There's also millions and millions of juniors in college right now who are realizing they're about to graduate the next year. They're looking at that person they know and they're a senior and they're graduating. They're going to say, that's going to be me next year. I'm actually going to graduate. What am I going to do? Today, I'm going to take you guys down 8 steps that you need to basically take as soon as you graduate college, if not even before you graduate, so you have all these in mind, guys. This is a financial education channel, so if anybody came across this video and you're not here for financial reasons, then this is probably the wrong channel for you. I'm not going to give you a relationship advice. These are all strictly related to finances, steps you need to take so your entire financial life is going to be better after that, guys. So that's the purpose of this video today, guys. And you know what? Let's just get into this. So number one, understand that the next 7 to 8 years of your life are the most vital years of your life as far as financially setting yourself up. Most vital. You're going to graduate college. Most of you guys, if you're just getting a bachelor's degree, you should graduate around 22 years old, maybe 23 years old. You're wondering, what should I do in life? Well, understand, whatever you're going to do, those next 7 to 8 years can either put you way ahead in life and get you way out in front of all your peers and whatnot, and way out in front of where your parents were at, everybody. It can do that, or it can set you up where when you reach that 30-year mark, when you're 30 years old and you reach those 30s, you're like, oh shit, I haven't really done too much yet. Like, I need to start getting this figured out. So you can either set yourself up to be way ahead of the game, or you can set yourself up to be way behind the game, or just, where everybody else is at that time. So realize that it's so vital. It's the most important 7 to 8 years of your life, in my opinion, of all them. And I would appreciate, I'm sure some people are going to actually watch this video who aren't even graduating college, who maybe are in your 30s or 40s or 50s. I bet you any money you guys would agree with me. Most vital years of your life are your 20s as far as setting yourself up for financial success or failure. And I bet you I couldn't tell you how many comments I've seen over time of having this channel of people in their 30s or 40s or 50s saying, I wish I would have been focusing on investing in my 20s. I wish I would have been starting a business. I wish I would have been doing some of these things, guys. So understand that. Understand it's so vital, your 20s at that point. Number 2, you got to ask yourself, do you want to start a business? Do you want to rise to corporate ranks? Or do you just want to be an employee? All 3 of them are fine. All 3 of them are fine. I don't judge if you want to be one over the other, those kinds of things. I have my personal way. But that doesn't mean you can't change as time goes on. You got to really ask yourself when you're about to graduate college, or you just have, think, what do I want to do with my life? Do I want to start a business? Do I want to, try to rise the corporate ranks? Do I want to do this, do that? For me, for my story, I wanted to rise the corporate ranks. I really did. That was my thing. When I got done community college, I didn't want to go on to any more college after that because I was doing well. I was doing well financially. I had a really good paying job at that time, everything like that. So for me, I was just thinking, I'm going to rise the corporate ranks at my workplace. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a corporate type guy, and that's how I'm going to think. But always in like the back of my mind, I would always be thinking like, I want to start a business. Like it was like a calling to me. I want to be an entrepreneur. I had no clue what type of business I wanted to start, but like all the time, like that thought was in the back of my head. Like I would think, you know what, I don't think I'm going down the right path. I think I need to start a business. I think I'm an entrepreneur. I think I'm not meant to be a robot. And as I got in the corporate world and I started rising, and I did well, I got promoted and these kinds of things, and things were going well, but all the time it came back to, I realized how much my creativity was limited working at a corporate place. And it like began to be so clear to me that I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own things. I want to make my own moves, not somebody else deciding my moves for me. So that led me to entrepreneurship, and I never knew what business I want to start. But you got to kind of ask yourself, especially as you're going along those years, is doing what you want to do the best thing for you? And maybe you think, oh, I want to start a business. And maybe as time goes on, you realize it's just not, you're not cut out for it, or it's not cut out for you, or whatever. And maybe you're like, I should be working at a corporate company. I should be working for somebody else, making their dream possible. And through that, I can financially succeed. And that's fine. And at the same time, if you don't want to do either of those, and you just want to work a middle-class job making $50K a year, $60K a year, or whatever, that's fine as well. Just think about that. Think about what you want to do. Think about what you want to do. It's just kind of some mental awareness for yourself. Think of, what category am I going to fit into? Am I going to be in this one, that one, and this one? And it could change over time. You might start out just thinking you just want to be a regular employee. As the years go on, maybe all of a sudden you get promoted, then all of a sudden you want to rise the corporate ranks after that. You never really know. Things can change as time goes on. Number 3, set up a plan. If you want to start a business, right? If you think you want to be an entrepreneur, have like a plan in place to get you there. So my plan was, I always had that thought in the back of my head, right? That maybe I want to start a business someday. So I always made sure I had plenty of money set aside. So whenever the day came and I was ready to start a business, I wanted to go out and make that dive, I could financially do it. So if you're one of those people that chooses the business route, you're like, I want to start a business, but maybe it's not for you at that particular time. Maybe you want to go get some experience in the work world. Maybe you want to work in that industry a little bit of time, or you just need to save up money. Think about like how you're going to navigate that over time, and think about what's the plan to get to where you want to get, which is to start a business if you want to go that route. So focus on that, guys. Number 4, if you have not learned about investing during the course of college, then you absolutely need to make it a priority to learn as much as possible about investing now. You graduated college, you're going to start getting a job, you're going to start making money, things like that. You got to learn as much as possible about investing. And it doesn't just have to be stock market investing. That's what we talk about primarily on this channel 99% of the time, right? As if we're talking investing. But that doesn't mean you have to do that. That doesn't mean you have to go that route. You could look at real estate investing. You could look at investing in bonds. You could look at investing in private companies, being more like a VC type, investor than small businesses. There's a lot of different investments you can make. You could be a gold investor, a silver investor. You could be, there's a million different types of stock traders. I'm like a modern long-term stock market trader. You could be, a super long-term, like a Warren Buffett. You could be a day trader. You could be a short-term trader. There's a lot of different ways you can go, but learn as much about investing as possible. And then once you kind of have dated around a little bit some of these investing styles, as far as reading books, things like that, figure out which one comes most naturally to you. Because it's going to depend. Like for me, stocks are the way to go. But at the same time, someone else might look at stocks and they're like, nah, that's not for me. Real estate's for me. Or then somebody else might look at that and say, no, not real estate for me. Investing in bonds, corporate bonds, that's my thing. Or treasuries, whatever. Whatever suits your style. You can date around a little bit, read some books, see which ones you're like really interested in, and then deep dive on that and become almost like an expert in that particular category. So then you can start going into step number 5, which is start investing as soon as possible. Start investing as soon as possible. If you have not watched a video I did on this channel about basically a compounding calculator, it's basically a video called, I think like $0 to $100,000, like how long would it take, or 0 to 10 million or something like that. Like how long would it take? Like go and watch that video, or go on Google and type in compounding calculator, and you'll realize how important time is when you're compounding numbers. If you start investing $1,000 at 23 years old, you get a 10% return per year, versus starting at 33 years old or 28 years old, the numbers are dramatically different. They're dramatically different. So realize you need to start investing as soon as possible. As soon as you really start becoming, a subject expert on that industry, which might take you a year or two, just start investing. Start getting into real estate. Start getting into stocks. Whatever it is your thing is, start investing in it. It's better to start young, because experiences you'll have when you're young, even if you make some mistakes, they're going to help you immensely over the years. It's a lot better to be 23 years old, invest $1,000 and lose $500, than when you're 55 years old and you just start doing that, right? And you invest $100,000 and you lose $50,000. Like, which one would you rather be? I'd rather be the 23-year-old who, when they're 55, has already got $5 million in the bank and isn't worried about making those kinds of mistakes, or will not, because they've got experience for 3 decades. Think about that, guys. So start investing as soon as possible. Number 6, decide if you want to buy stuff or you want to buy stuff. So what you guys can't see behind here is a nice camera I just bought last month, a Canon 80D, cost over $1,000. I bought that as an investment in this channel, an investment in my business. I use that for my real estate videos. I got a lighting set. I got all this new paneling for audio to make the audio even a little better on the channel. That costs like 150 bucks. I had to make decisions on, do I want to buy stuff with that money, monetary things? Do I want to spend that $1,000 on getting a 65-inch plasma, or not plasma, I guess that's out of style, a 65-inch LED? Or do I want to spend that money on a new camera that could make me money? Do I want to spend $150 going out to eat for sushi 3 times? Or do I want to spend that $150 on some paneling all over my room that'll make the sound a little better in the videos? Like, that's kind of the decision you have to make. Do I want to be someone that's just spending my money on stuff? Do I want to buy stuff? Do I want the nicest car possible? Do I want to go out and buy a Corvette? Or do I want to buy something that's going to make me 10 Corvettes? Like, that's the questions you got to ask yourself. There's nothing wrong. Once again, there's nothing wrong if you want to buy stuff. If you want to buy a Rolex watch instead of investing in that stuff, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Just realize that if that money you invested in your business, if you start a business, something like that, that might make you 50 Rolex watches. So kind of understand that, and nothing's guaranteed ever. Nothing's guaranteed, just something to throw out there, guys. So think about that. Number 7, you got to start an emergency fund. Start an emergency fund, put, at least a month's worth of savings, have an emergency fund. An emergency fund meaning that money's not touched unless it's an absolute emergency. Like you get laid off from work, like something horrible happens like that, guys. A big health issue, something. An emergency. That's what that fund is. And you should have at least a month worth of expenses in there. I really would prefer 3 to 6 months worth of paying all the bills in that emergency fund, not to get touched unless it's an emergency, like unless it's the worst thing possible happen, guys. That's what that money's for. Start that immediately. Very important, because that will keep you away from, if something bad does happen, you have to take out a bunch of debt or something like that. And then you end up, when things get better, you have to pay back all that debt at a big interest rate and all those kinds of things, guys. So you'll save yourself a lot of money and a lot of stress, and you'll be able to sleep better at night knowing that, hey, you know what, if I got fired from my job, if you do work at a place, or you own your own business and you lost a big customer, that, hey, I got plenty of money sitting around that I'd be okay till I find something else. So think about that, guys. Number 8, last but not least, number 8, when college ends, don't think your learning ends. When college ends, that's when the real learning starts. You need to really start learning at this point on your own. Learning about investing, like we talked about, learning about business, learning about everything you possibly can, learning about taxes, learning about all this stuff that maybe you didn't really care about so much in college to care about in high school, which is fine, but you got to really start learning about that stuff then, guys. Don't just like think, okay, you know what, my college days are over, I don't need to learn anymore. I can just work my job or whatever, and I don't need to learn. That's a big financial mistake, because the more you learn, the more it's going to help you make wise decisions financially, which will then benefit you in the end, guys. So do not think like just, college is over, I'm done learning. Do not think that at all. So this kind of covers what to do after college. And as far as like, student loans and some of that stuff, I know that will come into play, especially if you have student loans. I would always suggest, making sure you're trying to pay those off. But if you're at a low interest rate, like a 3 or 4% or something like that, if you really are a hard worker as far as investing, you have a good investing philosophy, it might make sense to put some more money toward investing rather than paying down that loan so fast, because if you're a decent investor, you can probably make a lot better than 3 or 4% in the market. You can probably, if you're just a decent investor, you can probably make 8 to 12% per year, especially if you're like doing the stock market, right? If you're a stock market investor, you can probably do 8 to 12% if you're just decent. Then if you're really good, you can make 16, 18, 20, 25% a year, as long as the markets aren't in a crash or something, they're just stable or they're rising a little bit, you can do that. So that's what I would kind of recommend. But if you're not an investor, especially you're not an aggressive investor, and you're just investing in things that are going to make you 3 or 4% per year, then I actually recommend you pay down those student loans instead of that, guys. So I hope this helped you immensely if you just are about to graduate college, or you're graduating college, or you know someone that's about to graduate college. I hope these tips helped immensely. If you just came across this channel, we talk a lot of personal finance on the channel. Make sure you subscribe for that. We talk entrepreneurship. Subscribe for that if you want to be a business owner. We talk the stock market the most, how to be a successful investor. So subscribe for that if you guys are interested in that. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.